Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Greg Plays Games. Today I'm going to be talking about this bad boy, the Game Sphere, which is pretty old and it's going to be coming to Nintendo Switch 2 and the online service. So I just wanted to kind of talk about some of my favorite GameCube games and to kind of just discuss all the pricing surrounding Nintendo Switch 2 and a little bit more of an interesting, entertaining format versus, just talking about price and all that stuff. But this is not my original GameCube. I snagged this at a garage sale with my brother. We sold our GameCube, I believe, to get an Xbox 360. This is in pretty decent condition. Some pretty significant discoloring on the gray up front here. Good God, look at the side port, the side vent. It is hella dusty. This GameCube was, like I mentioned, picked up at a garage sale, and we played a ton of it at my grandmom's after we sold ours, and then we took it home, and now it is mine. But I love the GameCube design. It is truthfully super iconic. I think it looks really good as far as an entertainment system goes. Very portable. Obviously, you can put some snacks in here, so all good stuff. Not my original GameCube. It is my original GameCube color that we had. So I'm going to set this over, but I will show off my original Nintendo GameCube orange controller. This is still pretty decent shape, all things considered. I got this like when I was probably 8 years old, so the fact that it's not completely destroyed is at least a testament to how I treat things. But this is such an amazing controller. I love this orange color. Orange was my favorite color growing up, and I still think this looks really good. I love it. Played this with Smash Bros a little bit, or lend it out to friends, or whatever, just kind of keep it on hand since I had it. But a lot of the discussion around the Switch 2 is based around the pricing. I did want to touch on that a little bit just because I didn't really feel like making a dedicated video to it because there's so many people discussing it. And at the end of the day, I think it's going to get more expensive with all the tariffs. So it's really going to be up to you as an individual consumer on if it is a worthwhile purchase for you or not. I think I'll be kind of making that decision once they announce the new batch of pre-order availability and or kind of what that pricing is going to look like post tariffs, because I think $500 was probably pretty close to the maximum I would have been willing to spend on a Nintendo Switch 2 system, but I am still using my day one Nintendo Switch, so I'm desperate for an upgrade. So it kind of just really depends on what that pricing is looking like. But that's really all I got to say about that. I'm super excited about it, super excited about the GameCube. So I'm going to show off all of the GameCube games I have left in my collection. A lot of our stuff was sold for an Xbox 360, and we just don't have these games anymore, but held on to a few. I don't know why this was one of them. All-Star Baseball 2002. I don't remember loving this game. I played a ton of MVP Baseball and never really played this one. I mean, the graphics look pretty much of the era, very similar to MVP Baseball. Acclaim Entertainment, made in the USA, so that's kind of cool. This might be the only, I don't know how many games were in this series of baseball games, but I don't really remember loving it. But I was a big Derek Jeter fan, so that's probably why I kept this and or bought it in the first place. It is a pretty small collection. I only have about 5 games to share off, that being the first one. Next up is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. No game case, pretty beat up game disc. I don't really know if this was even our copy. I can't imagine it was. This thing is pretty thrashed. So I don't really know where this came from. It's hella beat up. I love this game as a kid. I'd be curious to revisit it now that I'm older and have played a lot more Sonic games, and kind of realized I really hate Sonic the Hedgehog as like a game. There's not really many that I love. And I would say this is probably in order of my least favorite to most favorite games on the GameCube. Next up, Super Smash Bros. Melee. I do believe this is our original copy. Manual in box. We bought it used, I believe. Game disc. I love the Game Boy game discs. They're so small, very cute. This one is pretty nasty, pretty gnarly, but I'm sure it still works. But there you go. There's an inside look at that. This This game has lived a life and some. We used to take this to New Jersey with us to play with our family. I mean, whenever we could get our hands on some Smash Bros, we were doing it. Next up is Super Mario Sunshine. This is also not my original copy. I bought this from someone at school. As you can see, no manual, but do have the game disc in there. Game case itself is in decent condition. I bought this for $5 because I was so desperate to play Super Mario Sunshine in high school, and I just didn't have any way to get it. And one of my friends was like, "Hey man, I have a copy. You can just buy it off me. I'm never gonna play it again." And so snagged it up. Fully 100% beat this game on my GameCube. Sorry, not 100% beat it. I did everything but the blue coins, but got all the stars and everything in this. And been trying to do it on my Switch as well, but more of a slow burn. And last but not least is my original copy of Zelda, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. This game, easily one of my favorite games of all time. Have the manual, have the disc. Like I mentioned, we always took pretty good care of our stuff, so this is in pretty good shape. I'm pretty impressed with the condition it's in, considering this was, probably one of the very first games we got with our GameCube and never got rid of it. And love the game, love the game case. I think it's very iconic with the Zelda Gold, and kind of wish that they went back to doing this a little bit, but super excited that this is on the GameCube. I'm pretty bummed that it's not the HD remaster version. Actually, let me go show that off. So as you can see, we have the Wii U HD version and then the OG GameCube version. I've heard that these are actually going for a pretty penny nowadays. I bought this when I first bought my Wii U. This Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker was really one of the main reasons I bought a Wii U, was because of all of the new additions, like the fast sale and just kind of some streamlined questing, because I had beat that game and wow, look at this. Old Club Nintendo. Let's look through this manual really quick. Some other game recommendations from the Wii U era: Pikmin 3, Super Luigi U, and then Super Mario Bros. U. I did play Pikmin 3, but not those other two games. And then we got a instruction manual on how to digitally view the manual. So we were kind of at that turning point in this time where games just didn't really come with instruction manuals anymore. And then one thing that people always talk about is the Wii U discs and how kind of they're different, like they're rounded. They feel like they're really nice discs. I don't really know how else to describe it. They just they have a different feel than like a normal CD. Like it's a little bit more rounded here. But I don't know, super good game. Really excited it's back on GameCube. Really wish it was this version, but hey, as long as we have a way to easily play Legend of Zelda Wind Waker without requiring us to bust out a GameCube or a Wii U, that is a step closer in my books. And truthfully, I'm sure Nintendo will find a way to sell you this game again too. Don't you worry about that. I'm sure we'll get like a combo pack, like a 4K version of this with Twilight Princess or something like that, or something along those lines. But that's really all I got. Wanted to just show off a handful of the GameCube games I had, talk a little Switch too. Super excited, really kind of waiting to see what that price point looks like before I pull the trigger on a pre-order. I think, time is probably your best ally in this. There's not a ton of games at launch other than Mario Kart, which I could understand creating a pretty strong sense of urgency for a lot of people to make that purchase, me included. But at the end of the day, it's not going anywhere. They're going to support the Switch 2 for at least the next 5 to 6 years. I'm sure you can count on that just because of how they supported the Switch. And, the pricing is just something that we're seeing all over the place. So it's expected to see it with a Nintendo. The fact that they pulled back the pre-orders is very concerning. That to me indicates that the Switch 2 will get more expensive unless some sort of political agreement is made between the company and the United States government. I just don't really see any other way around that. So I would truthfully expect to see a 30 to 40% price increase, kind of putting the Switch 2 at $600 to $700, if not more, especially with that Mario Kart bundle. So that's really just me kind of talking out of my ass, kind of trying to read the tea leaves a little bit. So please don't take that as gospel, but I would assume that we're going to see a pretty significant price increase. Otherwise, why would they pull the pre-orders? So super bummed about that, but look at all these good Nintendo games that we still have that we can play. So I'm not really tripping on it. Super stoked about the new system. Glad to have these GameCube games, even though I don't really touch them. There's just so much nostalgia in the system for me, because this was really the main one. I mean, I mentioned it that the Nintendo 64 was our first console, like me and my brother, but this was the one that like we really got into gaming with, where we kind of were a little bit more at an age where we understood what was going on and could have a lot more fun with games. So, yeah, a lot of really good. Oh God, I broke my GameCube. A lot of really fun memories with the GameCube. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Super Mario Sunshine, by far my two favorite GameCube games, followed closely by Smash Brothers Melee. So let me know what your favorite GameCube game is. Let me know what games you're excited to play on Switch 2, whether that be a new game or a GameCube game. I'm definitely excited to finish up Tears of the Kingdom. I've been kind of waiting on Switch 2 to wrap up some of my stuff in that, because I thought it would be here a lot sooner, and I've just been waiting on it to just kind of have that game saved for myself. So I'm going to be playing Tears of the Kingdom when that comes out, and then of course Mario Kart Worlds, if I'm even able to afford a Switch 2. So we'll see. Tough times, but you know, you can always pimp, you can always strip, you can always sell drugs. There's ways to make money. So, you know, you just got to be resourceful. Thanks for watching this. Subscribe to the channel if you like erotica. Thank you.